It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. I am what some people might describe as ridiculously excited because not earlier this week, I think it was at the end of last week, doesn't matter. At the time of this recording, we're like 5 days out from the announcement that there will be a Ted Lasso season 4. And if you follow me on social media, you might already know that I am a huge Ted Lasso fan. I think we've actually talked about Ted on this podcast at one point. I don't remember which episode, but I am a huge Ted Lasso fan. That show isn't just a cute comedy about soccer or football. It hits on some really tough human topics that we deal with in day-to-day life. Ted nails the emotional complexity of being a human in that show. Not just Ted, the show nails the emotional complexity of being a human. And just the character transformations and storylines and all of it. I love the show. I've seen it no less than 6 times, all 3 seasons, seen them no less than 6 times. And each time I watch, I learn something new or I catch something that I missed. What I want to talk about today specifically is not just my excitement that Ted Lasso is coming back for season 4, but spoiler alert, Mom City. Ted's mom comes to town. Ted's dad died by suicide when he was a teenager. Him and his mom have a somewhat complex relationship. We see one of the players whose transformation it's one of my favorite storylines in the whole show. Jamie Tart, he visits his mom because they're playing in his hometown, and his dad is an alcoholic, and Jamie and his dad have also a complex relationship, or it's complicated sort of situation going on. And Jamie gets hurt during the game and he's sitting on the sideline and he just sits there, and Ted's the head coach of AFC Richmond in the show. He decides to play with only 10 players. He goes and talks to Jamie, and Jamie keeps looking around in the stands because his dad never misses a home game and he can't see his dad. He can't hear him yelling. And he keeps looking back, and Ted's like, "What are you looking for?" He's like, "My dad," or Jamie. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not getting the quotes right. But Ted ends up asking Jamie, "If your dad was here, what would you say to him?" And Jamie said, "F you." Also, I should warn you, if you go to watch the show, there's language There's adult storylines, but the underlying message is great. So don't let that stop you from watching it. Anyway, Jamie says, if my dad was here, I would say F you. And then he pauses for a moment and he says, and thank you. And then we see Ted go back and his mom's in his apartment when he gets home from the game. And he says to his mom a whole series of thank yous and F yous. And I think that it's just a really great episode to illustrate how we can hold two differing emotions at once. Like it's not either or. And in our rural culture, and just as humans in general, in our society, we struggle with duality. We're taught that things are right or wrong, good or bad. In general, we live in this space that's very either or and almost never both and because we don't allow it to be. And we're taught that with most things, and especially our emotions. You have to be either happy or sad, grateful or angry. Like you can't be both at the same time, or at least that's what we've been told. In that, many people think that we have to either forgive and forget or hold on to resentment. That is just not true. The truth is that our emotions are not that simple. Grief, anger, love, and gratitude, they can be all tangled together in one ball of yarn. You can be thankful for someone or something and still recognize the hurt that they've caused you. We in rural America are often told to respect our elders and be grateful for what we have. And those are great things. But in the context that they're often given, it doesn't allow us space to process also the pain and or the dysfunction that came with the respect that we have for our elders or the things that we are grateful for. But holding gratitude and anger or sadness or grief at the same time is not only possible, but necessary for healing. When we're only grateful and don't recognize the pain or how the mark was missed, we're one, suppressing the sadness, grief, and anger, and or anger. And two, we're not able to feel the gratitude and the joy and the happiness to its full because you can't numb one emotion without numbing them all. And for more on that topic, revert back to episode 43. When I learned this little concept of not being able to numb one emotion without numbing them all, I was a little bit angry about that. I should be able to numb anger, grief, and sadness and still feel happy, but that is not the way it works. Suppressed emotions also don't just disappear. They leak out in unexpected ways: resentment, anxiety, passive aggression, burnout, physical ailments. As strange as it might feel to hold both gratitude, joy, happiness, and anger, grief, sadness at the same time, it's okay and it's necessary to name both the thank you and the F you. So, the thank you and the F you, this is a little exercise that I actually have found very helpful. And I don't go to the person or situation or whatever it is and say thank you and F you to their face like Ted did to his mom. I prefer to journal it and write it down. And I have used this exercise. My journal has it written in it. I sometimes just say it to myself in the situation. Like, I don't know, this is just a really surface level one. But one time I was setting up a solar water pump and I was really in my head and just so angry with a different situation and kind of angry because the solar that I was setting up was a little bit challenging for me to get the panels where I needed them to be. Anyway, I fell backwards into the tank and filled my boots with water and my pants. And it was like this time of year when I'm recording this, it's March still. I think this episode actually comes out maybe April 1st. But thankfully, it was 50 degrees. So, like, thank you for it being 50 degrees. Also, F you for this difficulty that I'm experiencing setting this solar up. Thank you for falling into the tank because it snapped my mind out of the bitching, essentially, is what I was doing in my mind. So, like, that's a really surface level example, but it illustrates how you can be grateful and also acknowledge that your boots are wet and your pants are wet and your boots are filled with water and it's not that warm, but it's not that cold. Like, it illustrates holding both at the same time. A little bit deeper example is the cancer that I grew. I might start off with the FUs on this one first. F you for just all of the things that you have to go through to get through this. And thank you for also giving me the time and the wake up call that I needed to really buckle down. Not that I hadn't before, but really buckle down on my emotional, mental, inner healing. That's a little bit deeper example. And actually, one I haven't actually written on yet. So maybe there's that for me in the future. But I think you get the idea. So, the exercise, step 1, identify the person or situation. It can be a parent, a mentor, an experience, or even a past version of yourself. Step 2, write 2 lists. Thank you. Acknowledge the ways this person or situation shaped you. Acknowledge the things that they did that made you feel good, snapped you out of something. Then your FU list. Name the hurt, the pain, the things that still sting. Now, you can say it out loud if you want to, like Ted says it to his mom, or you can read it out loud. I don't think that that's 100% necessary, but I want you to check in with yourself. And if it's something you feel needs to be said out loud to the person or just out loud in general, do that. If that's not something that you feel strongly about, then don't. But notice what comes up. Do you feel lighter? Do you feel heavier? Does one list feel easier to write than the other? The goal here in this exercise is not to force closure. The goal is to make space for truth. And the truth is you can be grateful and happy and have joy and still be angry and sad and hurt. You don't have to either respect someone or resent someone. You don't have to be either grateful for what they've done for you or angry that they didn't do it quite like how you needed them to. You can hold both. And that's where the real good movement happens, is when we can hold both. And it's not easy. It feels so uncomfortable to hold both, to hold gratitude and anger. It feels not that good at first because we have been taught that you have to be either or, and that's just not the case, my friend. So if you try the thank you and FU exercise, let me know about it. Send me a DM, shoot me an email. I want to hear about it. If you don't want to share, that's totally cool too. But if you want to, I'm here for it. If you're not ready to say it out loud, like Ted does in the episode, Jamie doesn't. But if you're not ready, that's totally okay. Journal it. That's how I use this exercise most often. I think I've maybe said it out loud, thank you and F you, like one time to Tom, but you don't have to say it out loud for it to be effective. Journaling is very, very helpful. And if you want to learn more about this exercise or any other tools, techniques, or if you're ready to have someone sit alongside you in your healing journey, I do have space open in my one-on-one guidance. And also the Good Movement Collective is opening later this month, April 2025. And it is for women in rural America, farming, ranching, who are looking to heal and be in community with other women walking the same or similar journey. So those two things are options. There's the links for both of those are in the show notes. And with that, until next time, draw a good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.